We're here at the Fine Gardening Test Garden where I'm going to be planting this Fire Chief Arborvitae. It's a gorgeous plant and I want it to thrive and get off to a great start. So here's what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is dig a good hole. This is where my plant is going to live, so I want to make sure I do it right. The key to a good hole is to make sure it's wider than, but no deeper than the plant's root ball. This is going to ensure that the plant stays at the proper planting depth, but there's room for the roots to spread out into the surrounding soil. You might be tempted at this point to add amendments such as fertilizer or compost, but don't. That's going to encourage the roots to stay in the hole and not go out into the surrounding soil where they can anchor the plant and give it the greatest access to nutrients and water. The next thing to do is to deal with the plant's roots, and what you don't want to do is plant them like this. They're all matted into the pot shape, and they're going to stay in that shape and never go out into the surrounding soil like we talked about. A great way to deal with the roots is to tease the roots out with your fingers, okay? Knocking out all or some of the soil that they're in. It's okay to break the roots because the plant will grow new ones. And what some people do at this point is just to slice down the side of the entire root ball and spread that out into the hole. Because these roots are now ready to go out and into the surrounding soil. They're no longer matted into the pot shape. But the best way to deal with your roots might be with a box cut. The University of Minnesota recently published the results of an experiment that showed trees whose roots had been given the box cut were significantly better established than those whose roots were treated with other methods. A box cut is simply cutting down the sides of the root ball. You might be worried about losing all those roots, but a healthy shrub will quickly recover, sending out new roots into the soil. Dealing with the roots this way means you might have to adjust the size of your hole. Wider is okay, but make sure it's not too deep. We want the plant growing at the same height it was in the pot. The next thing you're going to do is backfill the hole. Now, the key thing to remember here is not to firm the soil too much, because loose soil is better for roots to grow through than compacted soil. After you've backfilled, water the soil to settle it down and remove any large or air pockets. The final step will be to mulch around the plant. This is going to retain moisture, keep down weeds, break down into nutrients, and moderate the soil temperature so that the roots have much longer season to grow. Plus, it looks great. You want to do it about 2 to 4 inches thick, but make sure you keep it away from the crown of the plant so it doesn't hold moisture against that part of the plant. That can invite insects and diseases. And once that's done, your shrub is happily planted.